Hey dudes, what is going on? Welcome back to Best Easy Minecraft Farms, where we go over the easiest yet still super efficient farms in the game, Minecraft. In this one, we're going to be going over this mini fungi farm, and I call it mini fungi because there are the huge fungi, which are those guys right over there. Today, we are going to be going over how to get the mini fungi, which are these little guys right here, because you do need these in a tutorial that I'm going to do coming up for the huge fungi farms. In this video, I'm going to explain how this farm works. I'm going to be giving a materials list so you guys know everything you need to actually build this, and then we're going to be building it step by step so you can build it in your own world. So I'm going to explain what is going on here. When we first switch this lever and we look under the hood, you can see that when the lever is switched, then it zero ticks these pistons up here, which then go into dispensers that are bone mealing the grass up above. The signal is also going to the pistons on the side, which is shaking the dirt back and forth. When the bone meals the crimson nylium and the warped nylium right here, then it makes this warped and crimson foliage, this stuff right here, these roots, and it also makes the warped fungi. And when it bone meals it, it puts it on the grass, and then it also triggers the pistons to move the grass, which then breaks the roots and the fungi. And then it leaves it on top of the grass platform right here. And then we just have a flying machine sweeping all of the drops into the collection system over here. In the actual build, these are going to be chests, so you can just collect up all the drops from the chests over on the side over here. Now, this thing makes 53,284 fungi an hour, so that's a combination of both the warped and the crimson. You can make it so that you're just getting one kind instead of both of the kinds, but I do think it's more useful getting both of the kinds unless you're really just after one. We also have an input chest for bone meal over on the side over here. You are going to need a lot of bone meal or some kind of bone meal farm to power this thing, which is kind of funny because originally I got this design from an older design that I had when you could use bone meal to bone meal nylium and then collect the drops and then use that with a composter, and then that would turn it into more bone meal than you were getting. They nerfed that, so you can no longer do that, and they did that by removing out the vines from bone mealing the nylium. But now we just have this farm that'll get you a ton of fungi. I put a lot of time and effort into my videos, and I would really appreciate it if you left a subscribe. It's free, it only takes about 2 seconds, and you can always unsubscribe later if you really want. Come play some Minecraft and hang out with me live on Twitch. I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Check the description for the link. Here are all the materials you need to actually build this farm. So these are going to be the building blocks. Of course, you're going to need the nylium. Some of this glass is optional, but you are going to need at least 7 pieces of glass. Okay, so you can see everything. You can pause here and get it all. I'm also going to include the materials list down in the description below. First thing you need to do is decide where you're actually going to build this thing. And this thing is about 10 wide, 20 long, and then like 6 high, 7 high, 8 high, something like that. And the first thing you actually need to do is put down the first piece of warped nylium. You need to make it at least 4 blocks off the ground like that. And then we can go ahead and put the crimson nylium on the other side, and then we're going to go out 2 blocks with grass blocks on each side of these, so every single side just like this. And then what we're going to do is fill in all the gaps with grass blocks. So then to figure out where we're going to put our next piece of nylium, we're going to go 2 more, and then if you have the warped nylium on this side, I'd rotate it and put the crimson nylium, and then we can count these 2, 1, 2, and then another 2, and then this is where the last group of warped and crimson nylium is going to go, and then 2 more like that, and then again go out 2 on every side, and then we're going to fill in the rest of this with the grass blocks. You can't technically make a version of this that's longer than this. You can only have it be this wide, but you can make it be as long as you want. I'm just going to do the 3 module for this video because I was getting really good results and I want to keep it simple. Next, let's figure out where the center point in terms of the width is going to be. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 droppers facing up, and then a dispenser as the top one going upwards into the nylium, just like that. And then we're going to do that on each one of these. Once we have all that in place, what we need to do is get some observers, and then we need to make the observer clock that is going to be right here. So it's going to be just like that. And then let's put a sticky piston down at the bottom, and then just for now, let's triggers that so that it actually pulls the two apart. So we are going to have to do that again over here. So on this one's going to look like this, and then we can get rid of that one. So when you have the two observer clocks just like that, but we're going to be able to hook this one up to this side, so we don't need a third one. We can just work with these two. So to get this pulse over to this other side, what we're going to do is make a little formation like this. Let's put a repeater down right there, and then a dot of redstone dust right there. Now if you notice, now it's going to be powering all three of these, the two droppers and the dispenser, and we need that to happen on this other side here. So now what we need to do is we need to put these blocks in just like that, do two lines of redstone dust like that, and then a repeater. And then we can make this same formation on this side right here. So those two blocks, the repeater, and then the two lines of redstone. And then that's going to take the power from the observer clock right here. It's going to come down this line, go back into the repeater, and then it's going to power all three of these droppers and dispensers right here. So now to make an on and off switch for both of these right here, what we need to do is hook both of these up to a lever that's going to be outside right here. So when we power those, every single one of these is going to be powered. We can go ahead and turn that off for now, and we need to take this same current and turn it into a current for the pistons. Since this is going to be the middle point and the dirt is going to shake back and forth, we need to put the first set of pistons on this block right here, just like this, all the way across. So the pistons, when they're in place, should look like that, and then we do need the second set of pistons one block away, so that all of this dirt and the nylium can be pushed over, and then this piston is actually going to push it back the other way. Next, we need to put our building block underneath the pistons, and this can be any building block. I'm just using a block of iron right here, and then we also need a set of building blocks underneath like that, and then we can go ahead and do this to the other side as well, right underneath these pistons. So now the build should look something like this. We're also going to have to put repeaters going into every single one of these blocks. Make sure that they're on one tick, so just don't set any tick to them. And by powering this block, we're going to power all of these pistons up here. We're also going to need another set of blocks along just like this, and then this is where we're going to put our redstone dust all the way across, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other side as well. Now that we have that set up on both sides, all we need to do is take a redstone signal out from one of the out of the dispenser right there, because it's going to be getting the redstone signal from the observers and the observer clock. So we need to take that and put it into these circuits out here, just like that. So now when we turn this on, you're going to see that the floor is going to shake back and forth rapidly. You may even get a visual glitch like I'm getting right there. So let's go ahead and turn this off for now, because we know that this whole section is now working. This is a quick vibe check. Let me know how hard you're vibing down in the comments below. And if you're vibing hard, make sure you leave a like and subscribe so that you can join the Dusty tribe. Cool, let's get back into the video. It's kind of hard to get underneath here now. You may have to dig out some of the blocks, but we need to put an input for bone meal coming out just like this on each one of the bottom droppers. And we do that by putting hoppers facing into each other, going into the dropper. And then once we have all of that set up, then we can put our chests on the outside right here. And then we can fill up these chests with the bone meal that we're going to be using for this farm. You could also just hook up a bone meal farm to these hoppers and get all the bone meal into the droppers that way. Okay, so now I've put my bone meal in here and I've loaded up some of it inside. So now when we turn this on, it should actually be creating the fungi as well as the roots, and it is like that. Look at all of those roots and fungi. Wow, what a fun farm. Okay, let me turn this off. It's creating a lot of lag. Now we just need to set up the collection system for all these drops that we're getting. There's a lot of drops, so the way that we need to set this up is a collection that looks like this. Just put chests along the back just like this. You're probably gonna need a larger collection system than what I'm setting up right here. But then we're gonna go ahead and put hoppers facing into the back of all these. So it should look like this when you're done, and then we're going to do this to the other side as well. So now the farm should look something like this with the collection system set up on both sides. Next, we need to build up the walls a little bit, so just around the outside. And we're going to do that with our building blocks on the first layer, but then when you go one layer up, you're going to use leaves, because leaves do not stick to slime blocks, and we're going to have slime blocks on the flying machine. And we don't want the flying machine to grab onto our iron blocks here. So we do have to use leaves on that second layer right there. So let's go ahead and do that to the other side as well. Now it's time to build the flying machine. Now these are some of my favorite things to build. And we're gonna need the arms to go out like this, 4 on that layer right above the hoppers. That's 1 block above the ground, just like that. And then we're gonna have 3 on this side, just like that. Then we can put in our sticky pistons. Boom. And boom. And we are going to need those 7 pieces of glass right here, and that is going to be for the underside of this flying machine. Now we want to use glass because we don't want these to turn back into normal netherrack, and if you use a solid block there, that will be a possibility that those will turn back into normal netherrack instead of these warped and crimson nylium. So yeah, put glass on the bottom and use that as the sweeping. This flying machine is almost done. We still need to put these observers facing into these slime blocks right here. So we need to have them facing downwards into there, and then we can get rid of that. Now this flying machine's all done. Now we need to make the flying return station. So we do need these immovable blocks right there behind the observer to catch the flying machine. If you don't use an immovable block there, the flying machine will just keep going that direction and you'll lose it and you'll never get it back. So now this return station is almost done. All we need to do is put a trap door on top of this face right here. And I don't want to do that until I set up the return station on the other side. And then on this return side, you want to make sure that the return station is going to line up with the observer that's going to be closer to us as we're back here. We're going to want to bring this back a few blocks. We're going to want to put our observer in there. And I think that is the correct place. Yes, it is. You want it to be 2 away, or 2 blocks, and then that up from the hoppers. So just like this is looking good. Then we can put the repeater there. Make sure that the repeater is set to 2 ticks on both sides. Yes, that one is set to 2 ticks. This one is also set to 2 ticks. Make sure you have the on and off switch on the side right here so you can turn the thing off, and then let's make sure it's working correctly. It's going to shoot the flying machine over here. It's going to sweep up anything that's on the ground. It's going to hit this return station, and then it returns perfectly. Okay, so now we want to make sure that we're going to be able to collect everything and it's not going to go flying out here. So we do need to put up a kind of barrier between the flying machine and the collection system. So I'm going to do that with leaves everywhere where it could be touching one of these slime blocks. Then everywhere where it's not touching a slime block, you can just use any normal building block. And when it comes to putting blocks on top of these chests right here, you're gonna have to make sure that it is glass on top of these, just so that you can open up the chest still. But then everywhere else, you can go ahead and just use any normal building block to cover up the arms of the flying machine. So as you can see, there is a solid wall there now. So we are gonna be able to collect up everything and catch anything that would normally get launched over here. Now I'm gonna have the flying machine land on this other side, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Now that this wall is in, we have one more final step, and that is hooking up the on and off signal to the start of the flying machine over here. So we're gonna do that with redstone and redstone torches. So we wanna make sure that we do put in an odd number of redstone torches going up this way. So we do have to make sure that we include 3 redstone torches in this torch tower. And then once we have that in place, we can go ahead and take that switch out. And then all we have to do is line up this redstone over here. We are going to need a repeater in the middle because this redstone signal will not reach that far. And now the farm is all done. We can turn this thing on. It's going to make all of our mini fungi. We're going to be able to collect it up in our chests, and then we'll be ready to go. Cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you to all my patrons for all of your support. I could not be doing this without you.